I know who she is, Papa Thomas said coldly. Vanessa swallowed hard. You? Yes, he replied, still calm. We've met before, twice. Bernard looked at her. Wait, you know my father? Vanessa's lips shook. I didn't know he was your father. Papa Thomas leaned forward. You didn't need to. You only needed to show respect. Bernard's face changed. What is he talking about? Papa Thomas turned to his son. This is the same woman who splashed mud on me by the roadside and called me names. She told me I was useless. She mocked my poverty. She did it again at the supermarket yesterday. Bernard slowly turned to Vanessa. She couldn't speak. Is this true? He asked. I didn't know he was your father, she said quickly. You didn't need to know, Bernard replied. You insulted an old man in public, twice. I thought he was a beggar, she shouted. He is a human being, Bernard snapped. Even if he was a beggar, is that how to treat people? I didn't mean it like that, she said, almost whispering now. Papa Thomas stood slowly. You didn't mean it, but you said it. You poured shame on me because I looked poor. You spoke like you owned the world. But now, the same old man is the father of the man you love. Vanessa opened her mouth, but no words came out. Tell me, Papa Thomas asked, if you had known, would you have behaved better? Yes, she said softly. Then you are not truly kind, he replied, because real kindness does not depend on who is watching. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. Please, sir, I'm sorry. Papa Thomas shook his head. You are not sorry for what you did. You are sorry because of who I am. Bernard was silent, breathing hard. His eyes were sharp now, disappointed. You told me you were bold, he said to Vanessa. You said you loved me. I do. Number you love yourself, he said, because the woman who loves me will respect my father. Vanessa dropped her bag. Please, Bernard. He looked at her one last time, then turned away. Papa, he said, I've made a mistake. Vanessa walked slowly to Papa Thomas. Please forgive me. He looked at her quietly and said, Forgiveness is easy, but trust is not. You had a chance to show who you really are, and you showed us. She wiped her tears. I can change. He nodded. Good. Start by changing how you treat people who can do nothing for you. She picked up her bag and left. The room was silent again. Papa Thomas sat down. Bernard sat beside him. Papa. Yes. Mary. Yes? Where is she now? Papa Thomas smiled gently. She's coming to see me at the supermarket tomorrow. The next morning, Bernard left the house quietly. He needed some fresh air and time to think. What happened with Vanessa still played in his mind like a movie. He couldn't believe the woman he had once loved insulted his father not once, but twice. His heart was heavy. He drove out alone, no driver, no assistant, just him and his thoughts. He didn't even know where he was going. He just wanted to breathe. After some time, he parked his car at the edge of a quiet area near a small stretch of land behind some local stores. He came down, walked a bit, and sat on a bench under a mango tree. The sun was still rising. The breeze was soft. For the first time in days, he felt calm. As he sat, he noticed someone ahead, a young woman standing beside a narrow piece of land, checking the ground. She had a bag of seeds in one hand and a small hoe in the other. She was dressed simply, with her hair tied back. No makeup, no flashy clothes. But there was something warm about her. She bent down, tested the soil with her fingers, then stood again. Bernard watched quietly. After a few minutes, she looked around and noticed him. She smiled. Good morning? Good morning, Bernard replied. She walked closer. Are you from around here? Number just passing by. Needed a break. She nodded. Me too. Well, not really a break. I'm planning to start a small farm here. Bernard looked at the land. You? A farm? She laughed. Yes. Why not? Most young ladies I know won't touch a hoe, let alone start a farm. She smiled. I'm not like most ladies. I studied agriculture in school. No job yet, but I have hands and a strong back. Bernard was impressed. That's rare. She dropped her bag and extended her hand. I'm Mary. He shook it. Bernard. They both smiled. She sat on a rock beside him. I'm trying to help an old man. He has no real home. He's kind and wise. Reminds me of my father. Bernard turned. Really? Yes. I met him yesterday. He was being insulted by a woman. I couldn't keep quiet. So I stood up for him. Bernard's heart skipped. Mary continued, after the drama, I found out he doesn't beg for money. He just sits quietly, watching the world. So I told him I'll help him start a small farm. At least that way, he can eat fresh food and feel useful. Bernard looked at her deeply. She didn't brag. She didn't shout. She spoke with peace in her voice. I wish more people thought like you, he said. She laughed. We're out here, just hidden. You live nearby? Number I take the bus from the other side of town. It's not easy, but I can't stay home doing nothing. Bernard nodded. I admire that. She looked at him. What do you do? Bernard hesitated. Business. Ah, business, the favorite Nigerian word. They both laughed. I won't ask too many questions, she said. You look like someone with a lot on his mind. Bernard smiled. You're right, she stood. I need to plant these seeds before the sun gets too hot. He stood with her. Can I help? She raised a brow. You? With your clean shoes and soft hands? I can learn, she smiled. All right, let's start with okra. And just like that, they began. Two strangers, two worlds, one small farm. It was late afternoon. Papa Thomas sat quietly at his usual spot near the supermarket. His eyes were soft, and his thoughts were far away. He wasn't thinking about money or food. He was thinking about Mary, her kindness, her courage, her words. Suddenly, a cheerful voice pulled him out of his thoughts. Papa! He looked up. It was Mary, smiling and walking toward him with a small basket in her hand. She reached him and sat down gently beside him. I brought you something. What is it? He asked warmly. Just some fresh vegetables and boiled groundnuts, she said. It's not much. Papa Thomas opened the basket and smiled. It's everything. Thank you, my daughter. May God bless your hands. Mary laughed. Amen, Papa. They sat quietly for a moment, then she leaned closer. Papa, I have good news. His eyes brightened. Tell me. I found land. You did? He asked, surprised. Yes, it belongs to my uncle. I told him what I wanted to do, and he said I can use part of it for farming. It's a small space, but it's enough to start with okra and vegetables. Ah, this is good. So when are we going? Mary smiled wide. Tomorrow morning, if you are ready. Papa Thomas paused, then gently shook his head. No, he said calmly. We can't go to the farm tomorrow. Mary looked confused. Why not, Papa? Because, he said, you are coming to my house tomorrow. She blinked. Your house? But you said you sleep in a shop. He smiled. Just come. I will explain everything to you. She raised an eyebrow. Papa, are you hiding something? I'm hiding peace, he joked. You will understand tomorrow. She laughed. So when are we going to the farm? Let's go by weekend, he said. She nodded. Okay, but Papa, you're full of surprises. He reached into his pocket and gave her a small paper. That's the address. Don't be late. Mary took the paper, looked at it, and shook her head. Now I'm really curious. She paused, then added shyly, Papa, I also met someone today. Papa Thomas leaned forward. Who? She looked down and smiled. Just someone. A man. He's very handsome. I like him. I mean, he's kind. Very humble. The old man's eyes widened. Who could that be? I want to see him, my daughter. Mary laughed. No, Papa, it's not like that. We're just friends. For now. Still, Papa Thomas said, I'm your second father now. I must see him with my own eyes. She shook her head playfully. Papa, calm down. He grinned. So, are we going to see tomorrow? She hesitated. Yes, Papa, see you tomorrow. See you, my daughter. As she walked away, Papa Thomas whispered to himself, "Let tomorrow begin the truth." Later that evening, Papa Thomas returned to the house. The big mansion was quiet. He walked into the living room and saw Bernard sitting there. "Papa," Bernard called, "can I tell you something?" "Yes, my son. I met someone today." Papa Thomas sat down, smiling inside already. "You did?" "Yes, a woman. Not like the others. She's beautiful but simple, intelligent but calm, hard-working. She was farming, under the sun." Papa Thomas leaned forward. "What's her name?" "Mary." The old man closed his eyes briefly and smiled. "She's the first woman that has ever made me want to sit and listen without rushing," Bernard added. Papa Thomas spoke slowly. "I would like to meet her." "You will," Bernard replied. "Very soon." The old man leaned back and smiled again. "Tomorrow," he whispered in his heart, "you'll meet her in the most unexpected way." The next morning, Mary stood in front of a large black gate, holding her simple handbag and the address Papa Thomas had given her. She looked up and down, double-checked the number, then looked again. "This place is too fine," she whispered. "Is this really where Papa Thomas lives?" A security man stepped out of the small gate beside the main one. "Yes? Can I help you?" Mary nodded. "I'm here to see Papa Thomas. He gave me this address yesterday." The man looked her over, then said, "Wait here." He walked back inside. Mary clutched her bag tighter, her heart beating faster. Something's not right. She had come expecting to see a small home or maybe a family friend of Papa Thomas. But this mansion was nothing like that. It had tall white walls, big flowers in front, and a smooth driveway. The air even smelled different. Before she could overthink it, the gate opened. "Come in," the security man said. Mary walked in slowly, her sandals tapping gently on the smooth tiled floor outside. She stopped near the wide entrance, stunned by the beauty around her. The house looked like something from a magazine. Clean walls, glass windows, flower pots, and a calm silence. Then she heard footsteps. "Mary." She turned slowly and froze. It was Bernard, the same man she met near the farm, the same man who helped her with the seeds, the one she laughed with, the one she liked. He stood there, dressed simply, but still looking like the man she couldn't stop thinking about. Their eyes locked. "Bernard," she whispered. He stepped forward, eyes wide with disbelief. "Mary?" She looked around again. "You live here?" Before he could reply, another voice came from behind him. "My daughter." She looked past Bernard and saw Papa Thomas walking out of the living room, smiling from ear to ear. Mary gasped, "Papa!" She took 2 steps back. "Wait, you live here?" Papa Thomas chuckled and walked toward her. "Yes, this is my house." "But you told me you sleep in a shop." He nodded calmly. "Because I wanted to see how people treated me when they thought I had nothing." Mary's eyes moved from Papa Thomas to Bernard, then back again. "Wait," she turned to Bernard, pointing. "You're his son." Bernard smiled slowly. "Yes, I am." Mary covered her mouth in shock. "I don't understand," she said. "Everything. It doesn't make sense." Papa Thomas walked closer. "My daughter, I'm sorry for hiding the truth, but you've shown me your real heart. You helped me when you thought I was a poor, homeless old man. That's something rare in this world." Mary's eyes watered. "You were testing me." "No," he said softly. "I was watching. Life has taught me to observe. Many people pass the rich and kneel for them, but they spit on the poor. You did the opposite. You gave me food. You offered to farm with me. You made me feel seen." She looked at Bernard. "And you?" Bernard stepped closer. "I didn't know either. I met you by chance. I never imagined you'd be the same person my father kept talking about." She shook her head slowly, blinking back tears. "This is too much." Papa Thomas smiled. "But it's good. Because now no one can say you were chasing money. You didn't know anything. You just followed your heart." Mary looked down. "I didn't do anything special." "You did," Bernard said gently. "You were kind to a man you thought had nothing. That's rare. and powerful. Silence fell between them for a moment, then Papa Thomas broke it. "Mary, come inside. You're home now." She looked up again, still emotional, still overwhelmed. "Are you sure?" she asked softly. Bernard extended his hand. "Yes. Please." She took his hand, and together they walked into the house. Not as strangers, but as something more. Something real. The house was quiet now. Papa Thomas had gone inside to rest, leaving Bernard and Mary alone in the large, beautiful living room. Bernard sat beside Mary on the couch, looking at her, unsure how to begin. But he didn't wait too long. "Mary," he said gently, "I don't want to waste time." She turned and looked at him. "I know we just met," he continued, "but I feel something strong. Something I've never felt before." Mary listened, her eyes fixed on him. "I love you," Bernard said clearly, "from the very first time I saw you." She blinked slowly. "I didn't just admire you. I didn't just enjoy your company. I loved your strength, your calmness, your confidence, and given the fact that my father loves you too. It's a big plus for me." He leaned forward, his voice sincere. "Mary, I want to marry you." As soon as possible, she looked at him, speechless for a moment. "I'm not going to lie," she said softly. "I love you too. From the first moment we met near the farm, I felt peace. I didn't even know who you were, but I felt safe with you." He smiled, heart full. She smiled too. "If you truly want to marry me," she said gently, "then I will say yes." Bernard reached for her hand and held it firmly. "Thank you. You are the most beautiful and intelligent woman I have ever seen. And now, you're going to be my wife." Mary blushed, but her face turned serious. "There's something I must do first," she said. "What is it?" "I have to go to the village. I must tell my parents. They live there. They must know." Bernard paused. Her words echoed in his head. "My parents live in the village." He sat up straight. "No," he said, "that cannot continue." She looked confused. "What do you mean?" "My parents-in-law cannot live in the village while I live in a mansion," Bernard said firmly. Her eyes widened. "I have many houses here in the city. I will give them one. I want them to stop farming and leave the village. They've suffered enough. I want them to enjoy peace now." Mary stared at him, mouth open, hands frozen. You would do that for them?" "Mary," he said, "I'm not marrying only you. I'm marrying into your family, and I must honor them like I honor my own father." Tears welled in Mary's eyes. No one has ever said something like that to me before," she said. He gently wiped her tears. "You're worth it," he said, "and I want you to know from today. Your struggle is my struggle. Your joy is my joy." News spread quickly in the city. Bernard, the quiet billionaire, was getting married, but not to a rich girl, not to a celebrity. He was marrying a simple, respectful lady named Mary. People were shocked. Some smiled and praised his choice, others were jealous. But no one was more angry than Vanessa. She heard the news from one of her friends at a spa. "What did you just say?" Vanessa asked sharply. "Yes now," the friend said. "Bernard is getting married to that girl. I even heard she's from the village." Vanessa's face twisted, her jaw tightened, her hands began to shake. "He can't do this to me." She stormed out of the spa and entered her car, fuming with anger. That night she called someone, a rough-looking man named Skido, known for doing dirty jobs. "I want you to do something for me," she said coldly. "What is it?" Skido asked. "I want you to plant hard drugs inside Bernard's office. Once it's there, we'll alert the police. He'll be arrested, disgraced, and jailed. The wedding will scatter." Skido was silent. Vanessa continued, "Also, if you can finish the job, make sure that girl, Mary, never wakes up. And that ugly old man she calls father-in-law, I want him gone forever. I don't want to ever see his useless face again." Skido said nothing. She ended the call, thinking it was done. But what Vanessa didn't know was this. Skido knew Bernard. Bernard was the same man who helped Skido's elder sister years ago. Bernard gave her a job in his company when no one believed in her. When their mother was dying, Bernard paid all the hospital bills. He even helped Skido's family pay their rent after they were thrown out. Skido sat alone that night, thinking. "This is the man you want me to destroy," he said to himself, "the man who saved my family. Never." He picked up his phone. He called Vanessa again, this time putting the phone on record. "Hello," she answered. "Tell me the plan again. I need all the details," Skido said. Vanessa laughed wickedly and repeated everything. She talked without holding back, mentioning how the drugs should be planted and how she wanted Bernard's father and Mary unalived before the wedding. Skido ended the call. He saved the recording. The next morning, he walked straight into Bernard's office. Bernard was busy with wedding arrangements and office matters. "Sir, I need just 10 minutes, Skido said. Bernard looked up. "Do I know you?" "You helped my family many years ago. I've come to return the favor." Bernard looked confused but nodded. "Go on." Skido explained everything. He played the voice recording on speaker. As Bernard listened, his face changed. His heart beat fast. His mouth remained open as he heard Vanessa's voice clearly, plotting his downfall and wishing death on Mary and his father. When it ended, Bernard leaned back and covered his face. She really wanted to destroy us." Skido nodded. "I couldn't let it happen. You don't deserve it." "Thank you," Bernard said, shaking his hand. "You've saved us." Hours later, the police moved in. Vanessa was arrested at a luxury restaurant where she was showing off new clothes. "What is the meaning of this?" she shouted. "You're under arrest for attempted murder, conspiracy and drug framing," one officer said. She screamed and cried, but they took her away. In court, Vanessa wore a long black dress and tried to act innocent. "I don't know what they're talking about," she said. "I never said anything like that." The judge looked at her silently. Then he nodded to the officer. The officer pressed play. Vanessa's voice filled the courtroom. She spoke clearly, without shame, repeating all her evil plans. She laughed in the recording. She insulted Papa Thomas, calling him ugly and poor. She called Mary names and even said, "I want her gone forever." When the recording ended, the courtroom went silent. Everyone turned to look at her. Vanessa's mouth dropped open. She started crying instantly. "I didn't mean it. I was angry. I was drunk. It's the devil." The judge raised a hand. "Enough. The devil did not force you to speak. You planned evil, and you would have succeeded if not for one honest man." She sobbed. "Please, I'm sorry." The judge looked at her without pity. "For jealousy, for pride, for wickedness, you shall face the law." Vanessa was sentenced to 15 years in prison with no option for bail. Back at the mansion, Bernard told Mary everything. She was shocked, but thankful. "That could have been the end of us," she whispered. Bernard hugged her. "But it's not, because good people still exist. People like Skido. People like you." That weekend, they both traveled to Mary's village. When they arrived, Bernard knelt in front of her parents. "I want to marry your daughter. And from today, I want you to leave the village. Come live in the city. I have a house ready for you. You've worked too hard. It's time for you to rest." Mary's mother cried. Her father blessed Bernard with joy. 1 month later, Bernard and Mary were married in a beautiful, joyful ceremony. After the wedding, Bernard and Mary flew out quietly for their honeymoon. They walked hand in hand on the beach, laughing, barefoot in the sand. "I still can't believe this is real," Mary said softly. Bernard smiled. "It's real, and it's forever." Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching and stay